Who and what you trust is key to your security, privacy, and anonymity. The less you trust, the lower your risk. You want to minimize the number of things that you trust, including yourself. This is the zero trust model. To protect our assets, we have to make choices about trust. We have to select software, operating systems, encryption, storage, internet service provider, password managers, what download we want to download, and even people that we need to trust to protect our assets. Evaluate instead of trusting. Everything will present a level of risk, some acceptable, some not. We can mitigate the risk by distributing the trust. This is a zero trust model. It should be applied to everything we go through in the course. Trust nothing, trust no one, evaluate and distribute the trust. So what does that really mean? Well, let me give you an example. Say you want to store files online. You want to sync your files online. You need to select a provider that offers the syncing service. Dropbox is a popular choice that many people use. You should not trust that they will not get hacked. You should not trust that they won't view your files. You should not trust that they will not lose or change your files. So you have to make a risk-based choice based on that zero trust. So you ask yourself, how important is it that the files remain private without being changed and to be always available? You decide that it is important, so you choose to back up the files as well in a separate location and encrypt the files, or use a service to encrypt the files client side with a decryption key that only you have. This way, you have distributed the trust to the alternative backup and to yourself via encryption. Krypton and Encryptor are examples of what are called zero-knowledge systems. Zero knowledge is when the provider literally has zero knowledge about what it is that they are hosting for their clients. So a zero-knowledge system goes some way towards providing a system that you don't necessarily need to trust too much in terms of confidentiality and privacy. You still would have to trust them to keep your files available and to not change them if they were indeed hosting files, as an example of a zero-knowledge service. If your files are extremely sensitive, I still wouldn't trust a claim of a zero-knowledge system, because they could always change something. They could recode it as they have control over the application. If it was important, I would always add an extra layer of encryption. Let me give you another example. Applications can have secret backdoors. You may choose to run an application in an isolated virtual machine to stop it being able to communicate out. Applications can have malware. Again, you may sandbox that application instead of trusting it. You're evaluating, you're mitigating the risk, you're distributing the trust. Or you might adopt a different application completely and go with a free and open source FOSS application that has had security auditing as an alternative trust. So that's the zero trust model. You will hear me mention the use of the zero trust model throughout the course. Evaluate instead of trusting, mitigate the risk by distributing the trust.